normally when I take my hair out or when it's got to be redone into braids and things, I'll use an Afro comb just to like straight it out. It makes it a lot easier for just all the techniques and everything that like cousins or mum or barbers use. So yeah, so quite often, yeah. I'd define it as like an Afro comb. Being in like a Afro-Caribbean household myself, like it's quite common to see it around the house and things. So what I'd say an Afro comb, kind of with the long stem, just on one end, and then kind of like quite a big space between each comb and each tooth in the comb is what I'd define as Afro comb. Yeah. Most of the time it's wooden, especially at home and things. But as time has gone on, and a few more plastic ones, not very many metal ones. The metal ones, I think, well, probably more my cousins and female cousins use more of the metal ones. I think they do a bit more. There's a bit more technique involved in what they need done. But normally it's wooden or plastic. It seems quite simple motifs, really. Not too many. There's a few plain ones, kind of just plain, just the typical shape, kind of arched, kind of around the top. There's a few kind of a few patterns and things, but nothing that stands out particularly. We had one that's kind of like a fist at the end, which is that's quite a significant one. That's quite a fun one. We've got that from like I've seen the stories and things of like a kind of war, when kind of like I guess more Black Power movements, when it was a lot of the oppression and times more. I think more 50s, 70s kind of time, when it was a lot more important, when that was a really big debate around that time, and it's both in Europe and in the US at the same time. So I see it as to signify kind of like Black Power and kind of empowerment towards Black people. So that's what I associate it with. I assume it dates back like thousands of years, just depending on like, because when you look at kind of history and things, you see that Africa is regarded as the birthplace of humanity. So I would assume that as soon as people started to care about their hair, the Afro comb possibly came out. Not too many. I mean, I know that I always found it funny when, because as a kid, when I decided to have my hair in braids or like in dreads and things, you know, it was always, you can kind of see what was coming, and it's always quite painful sometimes when you're getting it combed out. So I used to always kind of associate the thinner combs and the thinner teeth to the combs as a bit more of a struggle. So I thought those would be a bit more difficult. But when there were a bit wider space between them, I associated with it might not be too bad today. It depends which comb we can find first, or which one we're using today. I think that's the only story I really got towards it.